probably I could be of any help to my fellow countrymen, and especially students of the university I was once part of uh, roughly 20 plus years ago. So um, I hope you can see my screen, right?
Yes, sir, we can.
All right. So this is the agenda we will take forward today. Just initially, I'll introduce myself, and then we'll talk about what's happening in the US job market, what kind of paradigm shift we are seeing there, how the technology industry is moving, and how what is the pace of it. Then we'll take a look at some of the technologies that are high in demand in US. And when I say US, almost the entire world, especially in terms of technology, follows US. So in the years to come, even in Pakistan, you will start seeing those technologies in much bigger pace. And then we'll discuss like what are probable different pathways if you want to move to US as a worker and earn experience in US or maybe settle in US. Along with that, in the end, we will see what could be the strategy that you can follow in order to achieve this goal, if that is your goal. So even if it's not your goal to move to US, these strategies would be anyway helpful to progress better in your own country also. And we'll take question and answer in the end. Even if something pops up in your mind and you want that to discuss right away, you can stop me and ask question, or maybe raise your hand if I think that is an option here available. Um, so, or in the end, we can of course discuss in much detail. So let's move forward. All right. So you know my name. I'm Asif Hussain. I was part of Bahria University from spring 2001 to fall, spring 2000 to fall 2004. And I started working even before I completed my Bachelor of Engineering degree. Now I am a robotic process automation architect, focusing on work productivity and enhancement for corporations and enterprises through automations. So this is a brief intro about me, like what I have been doing so far in terms of studies, majorly. And on the right side, you can see the certifications I have. I'm very active speaker in conferences and sessions wherever they invite me or I get chance to speak at here in US. Uh, I have been invited in Pakistan also in a couple of universities like Zabist and IBA and LUMS. Uh, so far, I was not being able to connect with my own university. I tried to connect with I was not able to get quite the response I was looking for. Now probably I'll get some chance. So I work from Chicago, and this is a glimpse of my office, my window, um, just to attract you guys that you probably would like to follow the path. All right. So to start with, why US? What is the US job market? So you can see this is the GDP of the entire world divided and shown in like what country contributes to what extent in the GDP. So roughly like 20 trillion, that is world's 25% of GDP. almost 25% of GDP. That is US's GDP. So US is a really, really big economy. And not only just a really big economy, it's a really big IT or software related economy. So 10% of US economy, that is roughly $2 trillion, is US software and IT economy. That is 38% of global uh, communication and technology market. So although the GDP is 25% of the world, but it's 38% in terms of technology. Now, how many workers do they need to sustain such an economy and such an IT or software industry? Roughly 4.2 million software related or technology related workers are here, out of which every year 65,000 H1B, only one type of work visa, H1B visa, are approved by US government, 65,000 each year. And roughly in last 5-10 years, over 200,000 people apply each year for this visa. So you know the ratio, how many get that. But this is not the only work visa they grant. There are other types. We will talk about them a little in detail later on. You can see H1B has a fixed quota, 65,000 each year. There is another work visa that is L1 that changes every year. I don't have numbers for last 2 years, but that the total number of L1 grants each year uh, differ a lot. But that's another avenue through which you can enter. And F1, probably you guys are more aware of. F1 is the student visa. Most Pakistanis come to US either through L1 visa or F1 visa, that is student visa, or through spouse or family visa. So either by marrying someone or uh, by being sponsored by uncle or aunt or someone. So and what I see here, most of the Indians come from L1 and H1B. H1B is the biggest chunk that Indians utilize, and that's why they are the highest earning nationality here in US, because they come prepared and on a technical visa they come here. And this is where we have a big opportunity, and we can leverage that not only just for ourselves but for our country, because our country needs foreign reserves, and if we work and we send dollars, that is one of the export our country is capable of doing. So average annual salaries in top 5 jobs in engineering sectors, you can see, and software engineers are among the top in US in all engineering sectors. And I can tell you that it's among the top in any type of jobs in US. Among the top, I'm saying medical is really, really expensive here, and that's why medical related, especially doctors and specialists, earn a lot more than that generally. So we all noticed COVID and we all lived through that. Um, During the COVID and after the COVID, uh, we for a short period of time we saw a lot of growth in IT industry. I am seeing someone has joined. I'll have to accept. Let me see. Right. Okay. So during the COVID and after the COVID, we saw a lot of growth in software and technology related businesses, and the job market grew a lot. Here you can see a peak around 2022, and after that the market shrunk, and we saw layoffs in many giant software related companies. Uh, but that's not like the software industry is struggling and there is no hope in that career. Actually, the technologies do change very rapidly, and this is the kind of field we have chosen where we have to keep studying, keep updating ourselves.
देव को पता नहीं है सर आपका माइक म्यूट हुआ हुआ
ये कब से म्यूट हो गया है?
हाँ ये अभी कोई तकरीबन 5 6 7 सेकंड पहले हुआ
अच्छा अच्छा, ये कैसे हुआ पता नहीं। अच्छा, मैं इस बात को रिपीट कर देता हूँ कि सो ड्यूरिंग द कोविड ये सिनेरियो खराब हुआ और टेक्नोलॉजीज डिड चेंज अ लॉट आफ्टर दैट। बिफोर लाइक before my time, before 2000, people in the software and IT industry used to stay with one technology for maybe 10, 20 years and stay relevant. But in last 20 years, we saw like every 5 years you had to have a new technology to stay relevant. But now I'm seeing like maybe every 2 year or 1 year you'll have to be changing your focus and uh, learning something new to stay relevant, especially in US market. So in last few years, we saw that exponential growth in machine learning and artificial intelligence related, uh, robotics related, autonomous driving, NLP. These new technologies grew a lot, and similar to similar to these technologies, you probably should be focusing on. We'll go in detail a lot more in subsequent slides. So now I'll discuss some of the technologies that you probably need to focus on to stay relevant. One is like cloud computing, cloud architecture. We all know like AWS, Azure, Google Cloud are the three major cloud providers. Um, AWS is the biggest right now, but I'm seeing a big growth in Azure, and a lot more companies are adapting Azure. Probably that's the way go forward. Azure, along with like since it's Microsoft's product, Microsoft is closely working with OpenAI also. I don't think any one of you may not have used ChatGPT. So everyone is aware of the paradigm shift it has brought. How many of you have used ChatGPT through its API calls? Anyone can raise his her hand if has used an API call to inquire something from ChatGPT.
Not right now, but we will be using it in our FYP projects.
Mm-hmm. All right. So, cloud is one area where you can focus, and it has big value throughout the world, including US. AI/ML related, like if you learn to use Python for machine learning models, TensorFlow, PyTorch has started to grow a lot. It's one of the biggest player in the market now for this. So in this session, I'll just probably name these tools and technologies. I'll not go in detail. What you should do if you're not already aware about these, write the names on a notepad, and whenever you get time, search these technologies. There are free lessons available, free uh, tools available to download and test them. And if you build something through that, you'll gain a lot, not only academically, but for your job prospects later on. So you can use Hadoop, Spark, um, Python, and R for like coding it. So this is one of the most fastest growing um, technology right now. You can leverage it in any type of domain, including like predictive main analysis or um, understanding patterns in the data. Cybersecurity and information security. Um, so there are lots of certifications available about that, and that is useful along with cloud. If you know this and you club this with the cloud computing concepts, you get really good output. So that is one area you can work on. This is not my area of expertise. I probably may not be able to speak a lot, but I know this is something relevant right now as a good technology or good skill to learn. This is my own area. Sorry, anyone saying something?
No, no, please go ahead.
Okay, so this is my own area. I can talk hours and hours on this. Robotic process automation. Um, it is a technology to automate repetitive, high volume tasks, and it is a technology that operates your computer like a human user and get things done for you. So anything, if you perform on your computer repetitively in high volume, it is the ideal technology to automate it with. And um, it has the capability to interact with other applications, not only like a software through API calls, or like a software like using SQL queries, or like a software using other software interfaces. It can also interact with applications using UI. So it can operate applications like a human user, get to different screens, and operate your computer and get things done for you. So this is a really interesting technology that you can explore and make your job easier, even if you're not someone who's looking for adapting it as your skill and adapting it as your primary domain area. Even then, this is a good technology that can easily be learned and can make your job easier for any day-to-day tasks if you want to automate it. I started uh, using this back in 2006 on my second job when I developed a stock trading application for Karachi Stock Exchange, and I was supposed to get to office before 9, go to this data center on 19th, no, 20th floor of Sima Trade Tower, and log into different applications, different systems, connect them, and then enable the interface through which people could trade online. And I developed a bot without not using any of these RPA technologies that were available, probably not available at that time. I developed them through VB6, and that automation used to log in those systems, set up everything before I could reach office and I could like get things automated for me, and I could have a maybe half an hour extra sleep, or not even join office for a day easily. So it's my interest in this started for my own kamchori, and then after 15 years not using it, I started using it as a technology again, and now it's my one of the areas through which I earn bread and butter. DevOps and automation is another area where you can learn these tools like Jenkins, Docker, Kubernetes, Ansible, Git. Probably every one of you already use. CI/CD pipelines, learn about them. This is something every uh, company has adapted or adapting or need these engineers to keep these CI/CD pipelines running. So learning this has good potential and good demand everywhere in the world, including US. Some of you might be aware about IoTs. IoTs are part of our life now. Every device has sensors. Every device is now connected through internet. Maybe our smart TVs or our smart bulbs, or the all the devices that we've started using, thermostats. Everything has connectivity to uh, internet, including our watch, right? So IoTs are important in industry also, uh, in on the on like manufacturing plants, or any equipment nowadays is equipped with IoT devices, and managing that is one area that can be high in demand in future, and still it is. This is one area that probably is very easy to enter, and a lot of new develop. I don't know what is the trend right now, but few years ago, till what I was connected with students, even after my graduation, I saw students were not giving much attention towards the ERPs or CRM softwares available in the market, and they have a big demand. It's good that you stay on open source technologies and raw programming skills for a couple of years after graduation, just to make your concepts stronger. But it's a good idea after a couple of years to move towards ERPs and CRMs. And you must have heard names of SAP or Oracle ERPs called e-business suite, Microsoft Dynamics, Salesforce, ServiceNow. They are giants, and they have big market, and their developers and administrators have good demand. So try considering them, try to move towards them, and learn how to be an ERP consultant or CRM specialist or SAP developer or SAP related uh, job roles. All right, now last one, it is really important and really, really fresh. LLMs, you all know, right? ChatGPT, as we discussed earlier. So there are multiple LLMs available in the market right now. Um, and um, ChatGPT is one of them. Learn how LLMs work, learn how LLMs can be utilized in industry. And this is something very new. Everyone probably is still trying to figure out how to utilize it best in their industry. And if you come up with a good use case or good solution, it can be a big product for you. Or um, if you learn to utilize it in effective manner, you can be a really beneficial employee for any organization. So along with that, as I asked that LLMs, if you have used through API calls, that's how you will use it through your applications, right? Now, if you move, if you are a bit more connected to the industry, you may know that AI agents are the real new thing right now, and everyone is just trying to run towards them in the US market. What are AI agents? You can go in detail, search over the internet what are different AI agents. You can search about Agent Force. Salesforce is Agent Force, or Microsoft autonomous AI agents, and you would be surprised to see what they can deliver and how world is changing and automations are being used. This is the area I have started working on in last like few months. This is brand new. I've started delivering solutions using LLM assistants and AI agents, and I'm seeing very good potential in this area. And this is, since it's a very new field, there are lots of avenues to enter into it. All right, so this is all the technologies we briefly talked about in a glance. Uh, I would, I think you guys must have taken notes, or if you haven't, you can just take a screenshot of this thing. This will be helpful. I'll stop here for a second, ask if anyone has any questions, we can take it before moving to the next chapter. All right, maybe things were too simple or things were too complex. I don't know. I was expecting some questions. All right. So now let's see some ways how you can work in US. The first visa type is L1. So L1 is a someone is trying to join. Let me see. All right. So L1 is a um, visa type that is for managerial roles. That is for the people.
अभी कोई पता नहीं.
Anyone who is not supposed to talk, please stay mute. All right. So L1 is something probably you might not be looking for right now. It is a kind of visa that is granted to people with significant experience in their own country, uh, and they are already working on a managerial role. So they can be transferred to their US office within their company on L1 visa. And the condition is something like they should have a significant number of reportees under them in their organization, and they should be transferred to a new role in US in the same company with a significant number of reportees. I think in their home country it's 10, in the uh, US it should be 5 at least. So this is something probably you can look for a few years from now. This is something that can be achieved earlier, and we just saw in the beginning that 65,000 H-1B visas are granted each year by US government. So this is through which US companies can hire foreign workers in specialty occupations, and engineering and STEM related professions are included. Software is the biggest profession. Software engineering is the biggest profession in which these visas are granted. F1 is student visa. This is something you can pursue if you take admission in masters in any of the US universities. There are significant scholarships are also available. You can explore that option, and then you can move to US through a F1 visa. There is another O1 visa that is for extraordinary individuals or people with extraordinary experience. So when I say extraordinary, it could be like you're a scientist, you have significant number of publications in renowned journals, or you have PhD in it, or you are an Olympian, have won medals, or you probably are a renowned artist, someone of someone extraordinary that you can say, right? So that is slightly unlikely to get kind of visa. If a person gets to that stage, he probably doesn't need that. All right. So um, H1B is the focus point here. That is important. So, so in order to get H1B, you need to attract a US employer. So an employer ready to hire you, ready to sponsor your visa is required for getting H1B visa. H1B visa is granted for 3 years, and it is extendable to additional 3 years. So total for 6 years you get H1B visa. There are ways to stay longer than 6 years, but if you don't do those actions, then after 6 years you cannot extend and you'll have to go back. If you want to extend your stay, you can get into the process of green card. And for that, you need certain steps to be done by your employer. All right. H1B visa is actually transferable. You can change your employer. If you get a good offer, one employer sponsors you, you get to US, you start working for him or her or them, I should say, and you get a good offer within US, you can transfer your H1B visa to another employer. So that is one option. Plus, so you're not stuck with one employer. It's not like you can explore market. Your employer can file for firm labor certification and then I-140 petition, and through which you get closer to getting permanent residency in US. And after all these steps that your employer needs to complete, you get a permanent residency or green card. That is like estimated 3 to 5 years from getting H1B visa till getting permanent residency. I got it in 3 years, so 3 years is pretty much achievable. And H1B applications are filled every year once in April. So you get to file it once a year, and within few months you get a response that either you are picked or not by USCIS. So L1 visa does not have a specific time to apply. You can have it any time of the year, and any number is acceptable. There's no cap on that. Um, it is extendable to one up to 7 years in L1A category, and in L1B category it is renewable to 5 years. L1A is for more experienced resources, and L1B is for less experienced resources. Um, in both these visas, you can bring your family, your immediate family, your spouse, your children. So there is also a path to getting green card here that is slightly of different nature. If you are coming through L1A, that has you had a you had a managerial position in a multinational company earlier before moving to US. Um, you can apply for EB1 and get it, your green card within 2 years, less than 2 years maybe. But rest of the process is same, like I-140 and adjustment of status and permanent residency. If you come through F1, that is green card, it's a much longer process. You study on F1, you complete your degree, then you are eligible for OPT, optional practical training. Uh, for that, you can work 24 months in US through this OPT visa. And during those 2 years, what your goal is that you convince or you um, prove your metal to your employer and get a sponsorship for H1B. And once you are on H1B, rest of the process for green card can be filed through your employer. There are additional chances of getting H1B visa if you have done your master's from US. And getting green card, if you get green card from any of these steps or any other ways, you're eligible to get US citizenship in 5 years. Now let's see how to plan for this, how to strategically plan for getting an H1B or maybe L1. First thing, build a strong skill set. Specialize in any of the high demand skills or maybe multiple high demand skills. We talked about a few of them in the earlier section. So try a few from them and build your interest in at least one and focus on that to build your expertise around that. Now, when you start building your expertise around a skill, of course, try to gain relevant work experience that will not only build your expertise, that will also build your resume, that you worked on the relevant field, relevant technology that is high in demand, and you have experience around that. Networking is really important. Stay connected with the people in your area of expertise worldwide through LinkedIn. Organize meetups, get to the meetups, meet people um, with your similar skill set, especially seniors in your skill set. Um, Alumni networks like these can be beneficial. Get to conferences where these technology concepts are discussed and announced. And we'll talk about how to get to conferences in a little detail later. Look for remote work with US companies. Build ties with US employers directly. So one way of doing it is through these Upwork or freelancing sites, right? That can connect you with US employers. If you have the right technology skill and you are connected with the US employer, it can be an avenue of getting sponsorship for your visa. Or look for the companies in Pakistan that sponsor H1B visas. There are a few companies I am aware of, and you can find more that sponsor H1B visas for their employees each year. And a good number of employees reach to US, even from Pakistan. Though it's the number is relatively very smaller, but there are chances, and that's where we want to grow this number. I'll talk about a few of those organizations also. You can see two websites here, very important to note down. MyVisaJobs.com and H1bgrader.com. You can know about those employers who are sponsoring H1B visas from Pakistan through these websites and even international websites. And it's no harm to apply jobs in those organizations' websites which are not actively working in Pakistan, but they do look for skilled resources everywhere in the world. And you probably can get a job in them remotely first, probably, or even directly they can ask you to come to US. So looking for the right employer is very important in order to get this. And this is um, we generally say last but not least. I don't want to repeat that term, but this is where I should be using this term because communication is the key. If you cannot communicate well, you cannot prove your mettle. You cannot tell that you can do it and you can do it good. You cannot express that what is your capability. Communication is the first thing anyone will notice, and that will create the impression of what kind of worker you are. And it's very important for a resource who probably will work from US on site to be good in English communication. So if you are very, very good in technically and not good in communication, your chances are not so good to move to US because your employer will think what would be the benefit of bringing you to US when you cannot communicate well and you'll need someone to communicate on your behalf to be effectively able to convey yourself. So work on that. It may take some time. But communication is the key. So each of these areas is very important and you'll have to put extra focus and a strategy. This is the overall plan, overall strategy, but each of the area mentioned here has a separate strategy that you should make and focus on. These are few organizations that I know sponsor H-1B visas, and you can check more on the websites written under there, h1bgrader.com and myvisajobs.com. Let's see, over the years, Systems Limited, that is also called that it actually its subsidiary in US is VisionNet. Um, and you can see the number of H-1B applications they have filed. And on your right, you can see Royal Cyber, another organization that has filed these number of H-1B visas. So I think, as per my knowledge, these are the two biggest that offer H-1B, uh, two biggest Pakistani companies. Our neighboring country, your neighboring country, in fact, now, uh, there are companies there, TCS or Cognizant or um, these companies like hundreds of thousands of applicants they file each year. So they are big. Two more I was able to find, not significant, but at least they are trying to do something on the H-1B front. You can see these also, but probably I'm missing some companies which are filing H-1B, but I was not aware of them and I could not search for them on h1bgrader.com. If you know any organization's name, you can go and search and see how many H-1B they sponsor each year. Now, a few minutes ago, we discussed that there are conferences that you can be part of and learn new things, new concepts, connect with new people. One way is to travel, go to a conference, maybe in Middle East, there are conferences. Biggest conferences are in US, of course. If you can get a visit visa, B1, B2, based on uh, your will to go to these or any other conferences, you can get those and be a part in person, or there is a possibility of getting it even free. So the next one is getting next month, November. It's one of the biggest conference. I am also going to this conference next month. It's in Chicago. Um, It's Microsoft's Ignite, world's biggest Microsoft conference, one of the biggest world conference, and you can attend it for free from Pakistan. So go to register.ignite.microsoft.com and fill form there for yourself. And online you can attend it free, which I am attending for. Not, it's not like I am paying for it. My employer is paying for it, but employer is paying for a significant dollar amount, and you can get it for free. So it's not something you should miss. Microsoft is going to announce and demonstrate AI agents in this conference. So again, focus, complete your degree, get the right skills and experience and certifications, focus on your communication, do networking, find remote jobs in US, and look for visa-friendly employers. That is the crux of all this visa strategy. That is it. And forum is open for your questions now.
Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam. जी भाई.
Oh, I'm Mohammad Tasir Suleiman and working as a faculty member in Computer Science Department, Bahria
Okay.
University Lahore campus. So I have two questions. The one is that recently a program is getting popular in Pakistan, which is US visa program EB2 NIW, and so they are getting much attention for those who have earned PhD degree or have exceptional skill or have industry experience for more than 5 years or 6 years. So my question is that the benefit of while you acquire this type of visa EB2 NIW. And my second question is that after acquiring the green card, would the individual have to stay for 5 years? It is necessary to stay in the US and work over there, or he or she can switch coming to the home country back and then doing business online or something like that. Thank
All right. So first part, EB2 NIW, very good program. Pakistan is eligible for getting that. I think many countries are not, including the neighboring country we were talking about. Uh, you can try luck, especially if you are an outstanding person in your area, having PhD and multiple research publications. You can be a good candidate for that. A normal student or probably a normal person having even a good career, it would be difficult for him or her to qualify for that, but no harm in trying that, trying your luck. It is kind of a portrayed a little out of proportion by our consultants who want to earn some money through this, the visa consultants, right? So they um, kind of let everyone say no that you apply for it and it's a very good thing for everyone. I mean, it is something you can go for, but not too many people are getting it, especially if your profile is not that outstanding. When I say outstanding, mostly I've seen that professors are getting it or someone very outstanding in their field. And the second part, right? I hope I answered this part. Second part was after getting green card. Um, so 5 years, there's a limitation that you cannot stay out of US within like 6 months in a year. And every time you travel out of US, you should get back within 6 months. So that is something you'll have to keep in mind. If you do not follow that, you lose your permanent residency status. Any further questions?
And the companies even use the first concept. So we saw one in the software, they also even.
Sir, is there any other company in Pakistan which offer visas to the employees? Any US-based company? You have mentioned 4 companies, and is there any other company?
देखिए, मैं मुझे इन्फॉर्मेशन में जो थी वो मैंने बताई है। ये पाकिस्तानी कंपनीज हैं जो पाकिस्तान में भी काम करती हैं और पाकिस्तान से अपनी रिसोर्सेज को यूएस भी भेज देती हैं। ठीक है, तो there might be others that I am not aware of. You can go to h1bgrader.com and search any possible company that you think might be sending people on this visa and verify how many they send each year. Second part,
Sir, can you share some insights about GitHub open sourcing, how we connect to the companies
GitHub.
on GitHub?
Sorry,
Yes, open sourcing.
open sourcing.
Yes.
I
How we
I
can-
myself have not worked on that. So I cannot be the expert in the area. You can probably, to start with, you can search or you can ask ChatGPT, easiest expert that you can get,
Okay.
right?
आजकल चैट जीपीटी से सॉफ्टवेयर के कोड्स वगैरह बना देते हैं और सॉफ्टवेयर इंजीनियर्स जो हैं वो काफी से हेल्प ले रहे हैं। क्या ये डेडिकेटेड कोड्स हैं कि कोई कॉपीड तो नहीं होती ऑलरेडी?
एग्जैक्टली कॉपीड तो नहीं होते कि जिसको हम कॉपी कहते हैं, वो तो नहीं है, लेकिन it is learned through the code. It learns through the code that it can find over the internet and Git, especially Git, right? And through its learning, it is able to understand the code and generate the code. So the logic that it uses, it has learned from someone else's code.
So I would like to add on another company, which I know, actually you told more of it. I personally know someone who works, who used to work actually in I2C. They also send their employees to the US.
Okay.
It's a Pakistan based.
अच्छा, एक सेकेंड, क्या नाम लिया आपने?
I2C.
मुझे क्लियर आवाज नहीं आ रही, जरा स्पेल कर देंगे?
पहले आई है, आई फॉर एक्सट्रीम, 2 इनका न्यूमेरिक है और सी फॉर कैट। एग्जैक्टली।
ओके, ये वाली होगी I2C इनकॉर्पोरेटेड। अच्छा, इसने तो नहीं किया, इनके इसने किसी और नाम से किया हो शायद, बिजनेस सॉल्यूशंस। हाँ, ये है, you're right. So इन्होंने कुछ कुछ लोग भेजे हैं। ठीक है, तो आप इस पे किसी भी कंपनी का इस तरह डाल के, अगर कभी भी नहीं भेजा होगा ना उसने, तो यहाँ ड्रॉप डाउन में वो आएगा ही नहीं। लाइक मैं अगर लिखूं अवांजा, राइट, आप लोगों को पता है अवांजा लिमिट का ना, अवांजा ने, पता नहीं अवांजा कंसल्टिंग एलएलसी कौन सी है। अच्छा, इसने कभी तो कुछ भेजा है, लाइक मैं बिल्कुल फिक्टिशियस नाम लिख देता हूँ, बहरिया कंसल्टिंग लिखता हूँ, ठीक है ना, बहरिया के नाम से कोई कंपनी नहीं है, तो ड्रॉप डाउन में कुछ नहीं आया और इस नाम से किसी ने कभी कोई H1B एप्लीकेशन फाइल नहीं किया. That's how you can check it from this site. All right.
We have one more question.
जी बोले.
अगर एक काम जो है वो इतना ज्यादा आगे बढ़ चुका है, जिसके लिए भी सॉफ्टवेयर हाउसेस जो है वो क्यों ह्यूमन सॉफ्टवेयर इंजीनियर्स को हायर कर रहे हैं, वो अपने काम एआई से क्यों कर सकते हैं?
Good question. At least for now, it's not possible कि वो सॉफ्टवेयर इंजीनियर को रिप्लेस कर लें, because it cannot develop end-to-end solution. AI can help you develop solutions, parts of it, but end-to-end पूरा सॉफ्टवेयर पूरा solution अभी नहीं बना के दे पा रहा हूँ. ठीक है. तो there are some not direct, not chat GPT, but there are some other applications based on chat GPT which try to create end-to-end solution, but still they are not yet capable of creating it fully and till ready to market. ठीक है. तो अभी जो सबसे बड़ा इम्पैक्ट आया है वो ये आया है कि जूनियर रोल्स में जो सॉफ्टवेयर डेवलपर्स हायर होने थे उनकी हायरिंग कम हो गई है, क्योंकि जो मिड लेवल के या सीनियर लेवल के डेवलपर्स हैं, दे अर्लियर यूज्ड टू हैव assistants for developing smaller modules for them. Now those smaller modules can be written through these AI applications, and mid to senior level people can use those code snippets in their code and develop faster. So सबसे बड़ा disadvantage people who are entering the market right now उनको होगा इसका, because उनकी जरूरत कम होती जा रही है. So you will have to put extra effort to create a niche, to learn something that is still relevant and not doable by these bots. Plus, that is something that is itself a solution. Like I told you कि आप सर्विस नाउ सीख लेते हैं, let's suppose, या आप SAP के कंसल्टेंट बन जाते हैं, या आप खुद को माइक्रोसॉफ्ट को पायलट के थ्रू AI बेस्ड सॉल्यूशंस बनाने लगते हैं. That is something through which you can still be relevant. So when market changes, yeah, जी.
सर मैं कहता थैंक यू वेरी मच फॉर द क्वेश्चंस एंड फॉर द आंसर्स. मैं यहाँ पे रिक्वेस्ट करूंगा दानियाल बिन असद से, हमारे जो असिस्टेंट मैनेजर हैं एलुमनाई अफेयर्स के बहरिया यूनिवर्सिटी कराची कैंपस से, कि प्लीज से सम फ्यू वर्ड्स फॉर अस. दानियाल आपका माइक जो है वो म्यूट पे है.
Sorry. Actually, I'm first time using this app. So, Assalamu alaikum everyone. Am I audible?
You're audible now from our end.
So, thank you so much, Asif bhai, for joining
सर
in a
ऐसा
very
आपको
short
आवाज आ
time.
रही है?
जी.
प्लीज.
Clear है, आवाज clear है?
जी,
Because
आ
यहाँ
रही
थोड़ा
है.
net issue होता है. Perfect. So I just want to say, sir, thank you so much for joining us in a very short period, and literally it will be really fruitful for our students and our alumni as well. And inshallah, sir, it is requested अगर आप अपनी LinkedIn ID या email share कर दे for future any queries, so students can facilitate with this as well, with this thing as well.
मेरा ईमेल आप मेरी वेबसाइट से भी निकाल सकते हैं. मेरा लिंक्डइन ये लिखा हुआ है और ये QR कोड लगा हुआ है, इसको स्कैन कर लें, लिंक्डइन ऐड कर लें. ठीक है.
हाँ, thank
लेकिन
you so much.
एक
जी
चीज
सर.
कीजिएगा, कोई भी क्वेश्चन करने से पहले एक दफा गूगल करके देख लीजिएगा कि क्या ये ऐसा क्वेश्चन है जो मुझे मिल नहीं रहा इसका आंसर. ठीक है. जरूर क्वेश्चन करें, लेकिन एक अपनी R&D करने के बाद.
ठीक ठीक, थैंक यू सो मच आसिफ सर फॉर योर टाइम। हमारे मैनेजमेंट की तरफ से आपको बहुत बहुत थैंक यू सो मच फॉर योर टाइम। इंशाल्लाह फिर आपसे सेशंस करवाते रहेंगे एंड होप टू सी यू सून इन कराची और इस्लामाबाद, जहाँ भी आप इंशाल्लाह आते हैं। थैंक यू सो मच फॉर योर टाइम।
थैंक यू वेरी मच। अल्लाह हाफिज।
अल्लाह हाफिज।
Sir, in the end, from Lahore campus as well, thank you very much.
तो मुझे आपसे क्वेश्चन करना है।
I come close to the video.
तो एक आपके बाद कोई